Hey, we back on the JayNJay show, Power 109. Of course, everybody is paying attention right now to what's going on in Ferguson, Missouri. 18-year-old unarmed black teenager, Michael Brown, shot. Autopsy just released. He was shot 6 times by police officer Darren Wilson. And it's looking like a situation where the police are trying to taint the image of the young man who was gunned down. They released a video showing Michael Brown involved in what appears to be shoplifting or strong arm robbery, maybe an hour or so before the shooting took place. And the reason why this is outraging myself and Jay in particular, and a lot of people, is because what happened there had absolutely nothing to do with the shooting. The police officer stopped Michael Brown and his friend, but he stopped them because they were walking in the street. He didn't stop them because he suspected them of being involved in a robbery or a shoplifting incident maybe minutes before the shooting took place. So it's basically a smear campaign that the Ferguson police are taking out on Michael Brown and his family. And it's bogus, man. It's bullshit. You know, witnesses said that the officer reached his arms out of the window, tried to choke Michael Brown. Michael Brown pulled himself away and took off running. The police officer chased him, fired at him, missed a couple of times. When Michael Brown realized he was being shot at by the police, he turned around, threw his arms up, said, "Please don't shoot me." That's when the police officer proceeded to shoot him 6 times, 4 times in the arm, twice in the head.
Wow.
And it's just disgusting. It's just a mess. And you have to ask yourself, you know, if the police officer felt like his life was in danger, why would he chase this man? If I feel like somebody is going to do me some harm, even if I'm an officer, I'm not exactly going to chase this person.
Yeah,
and if I do chase them, I would call for backup, and I would want to verify that this person is armed and dangerous. Michael Brown wasn't armed. And that's the whole issue right here. This fellow was not armed. So why did you have to shoot him 6 times if he wasn't armed? They said it was a struggle for the officer's gun. We ain't buying that. We don't believe it. The witnesses said that Michael was running. Witnesses said that you shot at him while he was running away from you.
Yeah.
Autopsy shows that he was hit 6 times as he turned around to face you.
Yeah.
Witnesses said that he threw his hands in the air and said, "Please don't shoot me." And you shot him anyway.
Right.
You know, this is getting out of control now. You know,
and 6 times? Come on, man.
6 times.
6 fucking times?
I
mean, you know, okay, so you mean to tell me now, you know, you felt like, okay, you had to shoot this guy. But now you're telling me that you had to shoot this motherfucker 6 times because once wasn't good enough, even fucking twice, which at that point is still too much. But then you shoot him 4 more times after those 2 times, and twice of them are aiming for the head, okay? So you're aiming to kill this motherfucker, okay? You're not aiming because, you know, he's struggling for the gun and you got to do what you got to do. You're not trying to catch him because he already stopped, turned around, and put his hands up in the air, okay? So he wasn't running anymore up to that point, and he wasn't trying to harm you, and he didn't have a gun.
And mind you, according to the autopsy, he was at least 35 feet away when the first shot hit him.
And so what is that?
35 fucking feet away and unarmed? And you were scared. Man, that's bullshit, man. That's bullshit.
He's a threat. Come on, man.
He's a threat.
Yeah.
I tell you, man, God, what do you have to do as a black man
to get some justice
to not be a fucking threat?
Shit, that's the question I want to ask.
To get some justice, but how about to not get shot in the first goddamn play? I mean, I'm 30 feet away from you. I got my hands up and I'm still being shot. What else do I have to do?
Right.
I got to pull some brownies out of my back pocket and say, here you go, officer, some treats. I mean, what else does he have to do to not be shot? I don't get it anymore.
Bow down, kiss the officer's fucking feet. I mean, this is fucking ridiculous.
Something, man.
Now, what's Fox News' take on this?
Oh, of course they're taking the side of the officer. And what they're doing is, you know, of course they are. And what they're doing is they're making a big deal out of this video. Listen, no sensible American will look at that video and say that Michael Brown was a saint, an angel. Nobody will look at that video and say that he wasn't involved in at least some form of criminal activity.
Yeah.
I mean, the video clear as day shows that he is roughing somebody up. It appears that he took something that he probably shouldn't have taken from the convenience store. It's showing that he used his size. I mean, Michael is listed as 6'5", 6'4", 300 pounds. So he's a big guy. He's a big guy. Make no mistake about it. You look at the video, it looks like he's using his size to intimidate the much smaller fellow and to take the property or whatever it is that he took. They said it was a box of cigars or something to that effect. Nobody's saying he was perfect, okay? Nobody was saying that he's innocent of the actions that took place in that video. But,
yeah, we got no problem if he was just going to get arrested because...
Exactly.
Yeah, you should have.
But at the same time, what happened in that video has nothing to do with the shooting.
Right.
And I'm getting tired of people acting as if the police shot a black man, so let's go look at everything this black motherfucker did in his entire life that might have been wrong. Oh, well, he was in third grade, he punched a bitch in the face.
So
when he was in fifth grade, he got a blowjob. I mean, they look at everything black motherfucker. I mean, just with the Trayvon Martin situation. Oh, he was smoking weed and he had gold teeth and his Twitter name was No Limit Nigga. All the shit that has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
It's almost as if you get shot by the police as a black man, you have to be squeaky fucking clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
No ticket, not even a ticket for jaywalking. And that shooting was justified. And that's bullshit. And I'm getting fed up of it. I'm tired. I mean, just look at the episode in New York a few weeks ago. Eric Garner choked out in cold blood by the police. The man is telling the police, I cannot breathe, and they proceed to choke him anyway. They killed him.
Yep. I remember that. I saw the video.
Hey, listen, this shit is getting old now. And, you know, people want to say, oh, well, look at the black people. They don't know how to act. They're rioting and they're looting and they're doing this, that. Listen, people are fucking fed up. People are fucking fed up. We pay police officers salaries with our fucking tax dollars. They're using our tax dollars to fucking kill us in the street like dogs.
Right.
I mean, you could have shot Brown twice. He was unarmed. You could have shot him twice in the arm and said, hey, you move again, I'm going to blow your head off.
Yeah.
Even that would have been a little too much in my opinion. But you shot him 6 times. That's a fucking execution, okay?
Right.
That's literally trying to assassinate somebody.
He knew exactly what he was trying to do, and he succeeded. And the only bad part now is that, or at least for them, the only bad part now is that they got witnesses that do not corroborate the officer's story.
Exactly.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they went over, no, you know, you didn't see what you thought you saw. You know, you actually saw this, you know, and trying to coerce them. I wouldn't be surprised by that.
It's sad because the lawyers for the witnesses are saying that the police don't even want to interview their clients. Ain't that a bitch? The goddamn police don't even want to talk to the witnesses. When does this ever happen? Whenever there's a crime, we want to get the witnesses' statements.
Right.
But when it's one of their own, we don't want to talk to niggas right now. Just wait till we get our bullshit-ass story together. Then we'll talk to them. As a matter of fact, we may not even want to talk to them then. We just want to discount whatever it is they have to say. So we don't need to talk to them directly.
You said that Fox News is really still defending them? Like, you know what, man? Honestly, man, I feel like Fox News is a fucking joke. It's almost like they're like the heel commentators in wrestling. Like, it don't matter what fucking deplorable-ass act the bad guy does, the heel commentator always defends him and finds some fucking sort of bullshit justification for it. That's kind of what Fox News is. I mean, I'm dead fucking serious here because it happens all the fucking time. I've never, ever, ever seen them even try to be fair in a situation like this. You know what I'm saying? It's like the fucking bad guy, you know, he whoops, the good guy's mama's ass, and the commentator, first thing they say, well, you know, he shouldn't have had his mom in the audience to watch him perform. Man, shut the fuck up, man. Come on. I mean, it's just always some sort of bullshit to try and justify this.
Yeah, exactly.
Please explain. Come on, man.
Yeah, exactly, man. You know, Fox News is going to look for any way to defend the officers. And interestingly enough, this morning there was a protest in favor of the officer, saying, you know, support the police, support Darren Wilson. It was a fucking failure because only 120-some-odd people showed up. But can you imagine what the racial makeup was of that group? Just take a guess. Nobody that could have starred on Martin was in that crowd, okay?
Right.
Nobody that could have played on Good Times was in that crowd.
But everybody who was on Friends or Seinfeld.
A lot of friends with Seinfeld out there.
Right.
And, look at this shit is fast,
fucking Gunsmoke, nigga. I love Lucy. I'm shit.
Nigga, I say Gunsmoke. Hell no. Hey, yeah, man.
Andy Griffith, all the niggas, man. Yeah.
So for the Freeze Company, nigga, I mean, you look at the makeup of this. Listen, here's something that throws me too. Why is it when there's a black man shot by the police, why do people act like there's no way in hell that the police could have been wrong? And I'm not saying all white people, but a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's no way. He had to have been up to something. He had to be doing something. They're not just going to pull out their gun and shoot somebody.
Right.
And, here's the thing. Police officers are trained to de-escalate situations. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
They are trained to bring shit down a few notches, not escalate shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad because when you look at the protests and what's going on out there now, I mean, the officers are firing fucking tear gas. They're wearing military uniform, camouflage and shit. And they're rolling fucking tanks and armored vehicles and shit down the street like they in motherfucking Afghanistan or something. I'm like, well, these are American citizens. What the fuck are y'all doing? What's with the SWAT gear and all this nonsense? It's crazy, man. I feel like the police have been too militarized. Is that a word? Militarized? Yeah. I feel like
does it really matter at this point?
It doesn't matter, really. But it's like the police are becoming a small militia, a small army and shit. They're supposed to serve and protect, and it's like they're out there, they're preparing for war every day they step out. And it's crazy, man. It's out of control now. And
they're looking for an excuse to shoot somebody. It's no longer where to shoot a criminal is a last resort. Now it's become the first thing, and okay, now let's think of a way to explain it away.
Exactly. Shoot first, cover it up.
Yep.
Get our story together, then start answering questions.
Yep.
And for me, the only question is, could this have been handled differently? And I think so.
Yeah.
Guys 30 feet away from you, unarmed, you could have handled this a little different. You could have tased him. You could have maced him. You could have shot him in the leg. I mean, anything.
Yeah, you could have shot him in the leg or something. You know what I'm saying? And dropped.
I just don't believe the story of Brown reached for his weapon. There was a struggle for the weapon. That's bullshit. That's the first thing these motherfuckers go holler. That's the same thing Zimmerman said about Trayvon. That Trayvon reached for his weapon and Trayvon said you're going to die tonight. Some more bullshit that he made up. Get the fuck out of here. That's why he had to shoot him.
Check out this comment right here because, look, man, it's almost like a fucking a guy who works for Fox News pretty much wrote this shit. The question you need to ask is this. Was it reasonable to assume that the officer felt he was in danger of great bodily injury or death? If the answer to that question is yes, then the shooting was justifiable. In order to come to the answer, you need to look at the totality of the circumstances. First, there was the encounter at the car, which allegedly results in a very large man pushing the officer back into his cruiser twice, then an assault punch, then a struggle.
Right there.
Yeah, hold on. Then a struggle over the officer's gun, which resulted in a discharge. After that, the two suspects run off with the officer in pursuit, ordering them at gunpoint to stop. At some point, the suspects stop and turn, taunting the officer, "You're not going to shoot." Then, according to some witnesses,
where the fuck are you getting details from?
I have no idea.
By a motherfucker that was standing right there. How else did you come up with that shit? What he said, he turned around and taunted. He did. What?
Well, I wanted to read it to you, man.
That is the biggest load of bullshit ever.
Then, according to...
I'm gonna tell you something.
Wait. Then, according to some witnesses and apparently the officer, Brown charges the officer with a reasonable police...
witnesses, bullshit. There were 3 witnesses there. That was Michael Brown's friend. Those were the 2 young ladies who had their cell phones out and were recording after the fact. Not a single credible witness has said anything of the sort. If anything, the police have gone around in the community and paid witnesses. That's my belief.
I believe that.
You have people coming out now saying that, that's nonsense, man. Total nonsense. Hey, but I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna say this because we on the JayNJay show, Power 109. I don't see where it's gonna end unless we keep seeing these uprisings of people.
Or unless y'all join the movement of the JayNJay show, which is spearheading the Real Talk revolution. We're not going to let shit like this get swept up under the fucking rug, and we're not going to let the media, like Fox News and people like that, or the police, or anybody try and twist shit around to make y'all believe what the fuck they want you to believe.
Yeah, exactly. And keep one thing in mind. You have to be peaceful when you join the JayNJay revolution. We're about nonviolence here. And we understand you're frustrated, but when me and Jay touch down at Ferguson next week and get our boots out there on the ground, everybody that's a part of our movement, our 5,000 followers and subscribers, when you come out, make sure that you're about peace, and make sure that you come prepared to deal with a hostile police force. You know, you could potentially be pepper sprayed, mace, tear gas, shot with rubber bullets and things like that they're using out there on the people. Just keep all that in mind, but understand nonviolence and peace is the way to go. You don't get anything resolved by fighting fire with fire. Hey, JayNJay Show, Power 100. Fuck the police.
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
Hey, how dangerous was NWA? I mean, and look, anybody with half a fucking brain knowing that they're not just saying fuck all police. They say fuck every cop on the planet. But they say fuck these bitch-ass motherfucking cops that got their ass whipped in high school. Now they got a gun, a badge, and a little bit of authority, and they taking out their fucking frustrations on everybody that fucked the best bitches in school that they couldn't get at that time.
Right. And you want to think
that's all that shit boils down to. Bunch of insecure, no pussy-getting motherfuckers.
Think about the very first line, right after Ice Cube said, fuck the police coming straight from the underground. He said, a young nigga got it bad because I'm brown.
Yep.
And that's true.
Got it bad because he's brown.
Mm-hmm.
And he ain't just talking about black folks. He's talking about Latinos, too. Black and brown. It's all the same. They don't give a fuck about us. They're going to gun our asses down. It's scary, too, man. I'm going to tell you why. Because even if you comply with what they tell you, hey, get down, do this, do that, do that. Okay, I'm doing it. My hands are behind my back. I'm doing everything you asked me to do. Once they get into that rage, and you see this shit on YouTube all the time, these videos where these officers go into this fucking rage for almost no reason. Once they go into that rage, there's nothing you can do to keep them from escalating the situation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Sad shit, man. Sad state of affairs.
JayNJay Show, Power 100.